Welcome to the Law Referencing video series. In legal studies, referencing is a crucial skill that ensures your work is credible, ethical, and academically sound. This video will introduce you to law referencing, general conventions, and formatting guidelines. Why is referencing important in law? Legal writing requires precise referencing to establish authority, avoid plagiarism, and guide readers to your sources. Unlike other academic styles, law referencing relies heavily on footnotes instead of in-text citations. In law, we use footnotes to cite sources. This means that instead of inserting citations within the text, references appear at the bottom of the page in a numbered format. This is an example depicting a correctly referenced text. Here, footnotes are used instead of in-text citations, following the conventions of legal referencing. General rules for law referencing. Spelling and capitalization. Use UKSA spelling wherever possible, for example, organize instead of organize. However, if a source uses American spelling, do not change it when quoting. Some words retain American spelling due to standard legal conventions, AEG. Program for a planned series of events versus program for a computer application. Only use capitalization when needed, such as at the start of sentences and in proper nouns. Law is not capitalized when used in the middle of a sentence. For example, the law requires compliance. Referencing court names and legal terms. When referring to a court generally, use lowercase. For example, the High Court has the authority to. When referring to a specific court, use capital letters. For example, the North Gauteng High Court ruled that Ho. In legal writing, act is not capitalized unless it refers to a specific statute. For example, the legislator enacted the law versus the Labor Relations Act. Always use gender-neutral language where possible. For example, they instead of he, she. When referencing a legal entity, use it instead of he, she. For example, the employer applied the act and distributed it to employees. Formatting legislation and legal documents. When mentioning the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, do not use a footnote. The first mention should include the full title and year. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, the Constitution, affirms the underlying value of human dignity. Subsequent mentions can simply say the Constitution without repeating the full title. The word section is capitalized only when written in full at the start of a sentence. For example, Section 4 states that in the middle of a sentence, it is lowercase. For example, according to Section 4. In footnotes, use abbreviations for sections. For example, SFOR. An apostrophe denotes possession. If a word is plural, do not add an apostrophe. Example plural, no apostrophe. The contracts were reviewed by the attorneys. Just making contract and attorney plural, no need for an apostrophe. If the word ends in S, place the apostrophe after the S. Example plural possession. The judge's ruling set a new precedent. Multiple judges made rulings. Dates. Use the South African date format, day, month, year. For example, the 11th of March 2017. The American format, month, day, year, should only be used when it is a widely accepted reference, such as 9/11 for the 11th of September. Years should always be expressed in numerals, for example, from 2001 to 2002, not 2001-2002 as the hyphen format is informal. Abbreviations and acronyms. Standard abbreviations may be used only in footnotes. Full stops should be used sparingly unless the standard English abbreviation requires one. When introducing abbreviations in the body of text, the full term must be written out first, followed by the abbreviation in brackets. For example, Labor Relations Act 66 of 1995, LRA. After the first mention, the abbreviation may be used alone. Examples of common abbreviations used in footnotes. AJ Acting Judge, CJ Chief Justice, JP Judge President, S sections. Regulation. Foreign words and phrases. Foreign words or phrases not commonly used in English should be italicized. For example, pro bono ex abundante cautela inter alia. However, if the phrase is part of a heading or already italicized, it should be changed to normal text. Quotations and quotation marks. Quotes must be enclosed in double quotation marks and must be accurate. Single quotation marks are used for quotes within a quote. Changes to a quotation should be in square brackets. For example, the rule of law provides for no more than 10% of an assignment should consist of direct quotes. If possible, paraphrase instead of quoting. Direct quotations in footnotes should be Arial 9 with a 0.5 centimeters indent on either side. Short quotations, less than 3 lines, are not indented. The final punctuation is placed inside the quotation marks. General rules for numbers in law referencing. Write out numbers 0 to 20, but use numerals for 21 and above. Monetary amounts should have no space between R and the number. For example, R100. Thousands should be separated by spaces. For example, R10000000. Hard spaces should be used in numerals. Press Ctrl plus Shift plus space. Do not write or indicate cents unless necessary. For example, R100, not R100.00, but R100.45 if cents are needed. Ages are always written in numerals. For example, the boy was 11 years old. Percentages use numerals and the percent sign with no space. For example, 10%, not 10%. Page numbers should always be in numerals. Editing and formatting. Use Arial font, size 11 for the main text. Line spacing should be 1.15. The text must be justified in Word. Footnotes should be Arial 8, single-spaced and left-aligned. No underlining is permitted in academic documents, as underlining is reserved for hyperlinks.